Keeping up with our commitment to Decision 2024, 12 News is taking a look at the District 1 congressional race, and you can see it there in the pink. It's a huge area, includes parts of North Phoenix, Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, Carefree, and others. So we've reached out to the Republican incumbent in this district, David Schweikert. We're talking with him, but we've not yet been able to schedule an interview with him. We will have him on soon. Today we are talking to his Democratic opponent, Amish Shah. Dr. Shah, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You were a busy man leading up to the win in your primary. It was a crowded race. You had 5 opponents, and you said you knocked on some doors.
I knocked on 22,000 doors in all of my time, and it was an honor to be able to go to those folks and speak to them directly and listen to their concerns.
And you're not a newcomer to Arizona politics, so you had 3 terms in the legislature.
Correct.
And you say that you were more successful passing bills than any other Democrat in the last 10 years. Why do you think that was? I
went down there with the idea of building relationships with Democrats, with Republicans, House and Senate. So it was almost my first order of business when I got down there to go sit down with them and find out where we can work together. And I continued to do that all throughout my time.
And you said it wasn't that difficult if you set your mind to it. Explain that to me.
So it's about taking the time to get to know some of those folks and the districts that they represent. What are the issues that are important to them and where we can find some policy agreement. And it turns out, yeah, the Republicans in particular. And it turned out there were many places. So I had 12 bills signed into law over those years, and it was more than any other Democrat in a decade.
So let's say you win this race. We'll project forward. You're going to be a freshman congressman. It's tough to get on committees. You know, it's hard. Day one, month one, what's your priority if you get to Washington?
I've got a few policy areas that I really care about. So healthcare has always been on my mind. I'm an emergency physician. I'm sure you know that I've been practicing for about 20 years.
And are you going to keep practicing, by the way, or is this going to be a full-time job?
That's a really good question. They have a rule in the United States House that you may not have an outside source of income other than the practice of medicine.
Oh,
and so it's the one profession where you might be able to do it. And fortunately, I have an employer right in the heart of the district that is very supportive. So we'll see about that. But I enjoy the practice of medicine. I get to see patients and also get to hear what is going on within the healthcare system. So it drives me, this idea of reforming the healthcare system so that people get covered, costs come down, is important. The quality that we want in healthcare is maintained. I think these things are really important to me. A couple of the other things that are really important, education. I've talked about that for the last 7 years. We have to make sure that teachers are well paid because a lot of them are leaving. There's a very high attrition rate.
So a couple of the issues that Democrats are polling lower than Republicans are in the state, let's hit a couple of those. Immigration and the border. What would you do about that? It's a mess. I feel like we've been talking about it for 30 years. It's broken policy down there. Yeah. How would you fix that?
The border's in crisis, right? And we have to secure it. You cannot have fentanyl coming across. That's one big thing that I really would love to try to work on down there. How
would you do that? Are you for the fence?
So one of the things I did over the last, in my time in the legislature is I was the only Democrat who voted for a bill to make sure that the threshold for felonies for fentanyl came down. And that was really important because what I see as an emergency physician are people who overdose. And we can't have that. Also, my district, my legislative district, had an area in it where we saw a lot of fentanyl abuse. So that's got to get curbed.
So how would that happen? Give me a for instance.
So one of the big things that Congress does is appropriate money, and we know that. So a lot of what we can do is direct more resources at the border. So I've called for more funding for border security. I've called for the ports, the asylum system has a real problem in that there's a lot of abuse of it. So
10% of those asylum claims, from what I understand, get approved. The other 90%, they just kind of are out there.
And so a few months ago, you may have noticed the Biden administration did do something about this and did kind of shut things down. I would like to continue that as well as use that bipartisan framework that actually Senator Sinema had put together as a starting point and hopefully work with the other party and get something done on this.
Dr. Amish Shah, good talking with you. Good luck going forward. Appreciate you being in. Again, we're working on getting David Schweikert in here as well.